It's time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online for all your website needs at sonicwebstudios.com. The Mike Wagner Show brings you interesting people doing interesting things all across the globe. Now, let's get started on the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also on Facebook at Facebook.com/Mike Wagner Show. You can invite people, share your page, and also check out the many interviews on the Mike Wagner Show Facebook page. You can also download and listen either live or later on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. We've got a fine gentleman who's been a California resident for many, many years. He's a Hollywood publicist, agent, and started off as an actor many, many years ago just to get into the business. And he's known thousands and thousands of celebrities, well known in the area from the Southern California region. And he's got every story to tell and makes it feel like a friend, especially being around celebrities, and knows a lot of them. So, ladies and gentlemen, live from California, the executive producer of many, many shows, just like this one, Steve Joyner. Steve, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, good evening, Mike. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, Steve. And you've been a
That was quite an introduction you gave me there. I'm flattered. I don't deserve the honor, but thank you so much.
Oh, that's no problem. I mean, I hope it didn't make your face too red, so it's like I don't want to send you to the hospital or anything.
It's very nice. It's weird to be doing one of these, and I mentioned it to a few people that I was going to be doing one because, as you know, more than anybody, that I'm usually the guy that sets these sort of things up, and so to be on the hot seat, if you will, is a little bit different. I don't really talk about my life that much.
Well, the thing is, you're not in a hot seat whatsoever. I'm the one in a hot seat. You're in a nice, cool seat. That's the thing. It's like, I'm in a hot seat. So it's like, I think we should be trading places here, boss.
No, but you've done interviews, though. You've actually gone on other programs where you talked about, your program and so on. So I don't do interviews. This is weird. It was like, I don't know, but let's do this. Let's have a pleasant conversation. So, go ahead.
Well, make sure you have a cup of coffee, and if you don't have a cup of coffee, get your wife or somebody or waitress to serve you one, or butler or whatever, and say, hey, I want my coffee here. And I mean, I take black, by the way. And what do you like in your coffee, by the way?
Cream and sugar. I've actually been getting into teas lately, though.
Oh,
and
nice.
So I've been drinking like green teas and lemon teas. I'm like an old British woman now. I'm into the teas, So.
Oh, nice.
But it's been it's nice. It's different. But I still drink coffee every now and then. Depends on the day. But you get older, you change things, and it's funny how when you're older, you get used to things that you used to despise or you didn't care for that much.
Right, exactly. And if you met me 30 years ago in radio, we would have had a beer. And then 20 years ago, it would have been maybe wine, but now we just have coffee. And, of course, my preferred tea is simply hot tea with lemon and honey. That is the ultimate broadcast elixir in case you have a frog in your throat or you talk so much or somebody just strangles you like this. Hot tea with lemon and honey is the ultimate tonic, I'll tell you that. And I swear that by the Holy Bible. And I've gotten addicted to Coke as well, too, Pepsi, anything with corn syrup in it, because my professor at Southern Illinois University, where I graduated, and he was like an old-time CBS announcer, and he was well known in state of New York and everything, and Rochester, Syracuse, and he always comes in with a Diet Pepsi, always drinks, and we wonder, it's like, how come he doesn't drink coffee or water? He says it is the syrup that coats the vocal
Yeah.
cords, and I've got hooked ever since. It's like, in a sense, I blame them because of my teeth, but in a sense, I bless them because it's like I never dry out and never get tired of it. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. So,
yes it is. And of course, you've been a Hollywood publicist and agent for many, many years, and
yeah,
you
well, no, no, no. Let me correct you. I'm not an agent. I never, branched out there. But publicist, PR rep. I mean, that's the best. If I had to describe myself, that would be it.
I think that's a really good idea too. And of course, you started off as a child actor many years ago, and that was in the Twilight Zone with the late Victor Morrow. And first of all, before I get into some of the movies, tell us how you got started in the movie business.
Okay, well, it wasn't. It was very brief and very short. And anyway, so when I was a kid, 5 years old. I had a very interesting upbringing. My dad was he came to this country in 1934 because to escape the impending invasion of Poland. My parents brought him over here, and my grandparents, and then he came to California in '58 and met my mom shortly afterwards. And my mom, before she met my dad, went to a school in Arcadia, and it was called Anokia, and it was a girls' college preparatory school. And what it was it's where a lot of celebrities' kids would go to school when they got kicked out of Beverly High or something like that. So my mom's roommate was like Cecil B. DeMille's granddaughter, Diane DeMille.
Oh wow!
Troy Donahue's sister went there. Ernie Kovacs' daughter. Leo DeRocher's kid went there. And it was unique. Edie Adams would come over every now and then. And years later, and when I was a kid, even at a little age, I would watch black and white old movies late at night, on non-school nights. And then I remember going to a play, and I was 5 years old, and I can't remember. I don't remember the play, but I was like, oh, I'd like to do that. And they were casting a commercial for RC Cola. Do you remember them, Royal Crown?
Yes, I do. That was very big in
Okay.
Chicago. Yes, very
Yeah,
big.
well, we had it out here too, and I was over in Coronado Island by San Diego, and I was in an RC commercial.
Oh
They
my
needed
gosh!
they needed a certain kids a certain heights, color, hair, all that good stuff, and like 3 seconds of of a 30-second commercial. Well, they're whatever, and then there was a class called multimedia arts, and I had a acting coach, and I enrolled in acting at 6. I enrolled in the class, and they taught us about side readings and being comfortable in front of a camera. And children are usually they're the best actors on earth.
Mm.
Child actors are really the best because they can put themselves and they can make imaginary stuff up. It's second nature to them. That's why kids are the best actors. When you're a kid and you fabricate a story or you tell a lie to your parents, then you get them to believe it. That's acting right there.
Oh my
So
gosh!
you don't think about it that way, but that's why certain kids they get it. And you just interviewed a child actor, recently, so a former child actor. So I don't know what he told you, but it's the same thing, and he had amazing success. But in my class, I remember there was a couple people. I remember Heather O'Rourke, who went on to do the Poltergeist films, and then in the town I lived in, Mario Lopez. He lived a couple streets over from where I did, and he was a dancer. And so it was a class. We would do workshops and improv stuff, and then it was a very, you know, it was an artsy class. And then I remember there was an audition for a Disney movie, and it was called The Devil and Max Devlin.
Hmm.
And this is a Disney movie in 1981, and it was with Ellie Gould and Bill Cosby. And if you ever see the movie, it will it's like it was weird. It was 1981 Disney, and they needed 7 kids. They needed an African American kid, a Hispanic kid, a girl with red hair, the little blonde kid. And they had it all set up, and went up to an audition for that, and I was a speaking extra in that film. I played one of the daycare kids, and it's a very weird movie. I don't know how long it was at the theaters for, but a lot of people first saw it on cable or beta. But basically, the movie's about Ellie Gould's a slumlord that goes to hell, and Bill Cosby is the devil's lawyer. This is the irony of the whole. And he's restored. No, this was a real motion picture, and he was restored back to life, back to Earth for 3 months in order to acquire the souls of three other kids in exchange for. This was a Disney movie. Just Google it sometime. You're
Hmm.
like, oh my
I,
god,
I remember those watching that, the Disney
you
movies from
saw
the
it?
'80s. It was
Oh
somewhere
yeah.
it was somewhere along the lines. I can't remember what it is. It was somewhere around there. Some of the Disney movies, but I do get the idea, and it was very entertaining back then and good for families. And of course, you can
Well,
continue as well too. So yes.
it was a weird Disney film, when I told them the premise of it, and I remember meeting Cosby and talking to him briefly, and he was, he was a nice guy, and he really he and Elliot was amazing. I remember he was an amazing guy to be around, and it was just a very I don't know, it was a fun time, and then I worked a little bit more, and then I realized that I wanted to no, live a normal existence because a lot of children that were doing this, you know, like some of the ones you've spoke to in the past that are older now, they will tell you they had to be. It wasn't a normal existence. You went to school on
Hmm.
set. You had. I mean, it was a very. I didn't make a career out of it, obviously.
Right.
So I gave it up, and I was living a normal life. My parents divorced. There's a whole from the time I was like 13 to 30, it's kind of the whole Jesus thing. There was like nothing really about me out there. So,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
and I just, and I did some theater stuff, and then I did, some, indie film in 2003. But I really, I didn't want to do it anymore. And then I really fell in love with the filmmaking process, even at a young age. I remember, being on a set or being around, or when I would watch a film, I would read the credits and I would read, about, who was the AD, who was a boom operator, all those interesting things. It takes a lot to make a movie.
Hmm.
And I found it fascinating. And then I never got married. I came close. Actually, you know what? I am lying. I was married for about 9 days when I was 22.
9 days. Was it Las Vegas or something or what?
No, no, no. We gotta be honest. Okay, yes. When I was 22 years old, I uh, I married a girl I went to high school with, and it was a very my father just passed,
Hmm.
and I reconnected with her, and it was way before social media, Facebook, and all that. And a friend of mine actually initiated this, reconnecting, and she lived in Oklahoma, and she came out, and her sister lived uh, around where I did, and her sister was married to a Marine, and I was kind of, it was sad. My dad died, and I saw him die very quick of cancer, and so she came into my life, and you're reunited, and we got married at a courthouse, and it was wild. It was a very spur of the moment thing. It was a very impulsive thing. I didn't tell my mom. She was not even in town when I did it. And I remember, you know, getting married, then staying at her sister's house with her, and she wanted me to move to Oklahoma after I settled my dad's estate, and then she went back there, and we just realized it was not a good idea to be married because it was. So we got an annulment, and the ink wasn't dry enough to get a divorce yet. So yes, I was married briefly.
I was going to say with social media, that seems like a very long time of 9 days. When I think of very short marriages, it makes me think of Britney Spears and Kevin Federline, probably the most shortest of marriages of all time. But you seem to have outlasted it. That's what it sounds like. So,
Yeah, I mean, it was. I don't really talk about it that much, and I reconnected with. I talked to her since, and about 2 years ago, she contacted me on Facebook, and she's married, and she has like three children now, and one of them has autism, and she devotes a lot of time to that. And it was just one of those things that happens in life. So I've had some very weird experiences like that, but yeah. So oh yeah. So anyway, I went through my 20s, and then in my 30s, my mom got ill, and I devoted my full time into taking care of her, and then she passed away in 2013.
Oh
And
my.
I was not on Facebook